My name is Chiana Ronald Kudakwashe. I'm a project officer with the Diocese of Mutare Community Care Program in Chipinge and Chimanimani, where the organization is implementing the CultureACTIONs project.
My name is Nyasha Mantos and I work for Roots and I'm the programs officer.
My name is Melody Nyamkapa. I work for Women in Land in Zimbabwe as the program officer based in Makoni district.
So the organization DOMCAP is working on community projects which mainly involve intervention around empowering women. Why? Because currently there's an increase in child marriage cases in Chipinge and also in Chimanimani districts in the 4 wards that we are working in. We have reports coming in from traditional leaders, from community cadres who work with communities in these respective wards of Chipinge and Chimanimani. In Chipinge alone, in Ward 19, there is a rise in suicide cases. Just the period of lockdown, there were over 10 suicide cases, which is an alarming statistic. And all this is emanating from the effects of gender-based violence in the community. Therefore, as an organization, we are doing awareness campaigns, awareness roadshows. We also do what we call community diaries, where we gather the community and empower them through creative arts, through dramas, poetry, music, dance. We empower the communities and give them awareness on gender-based violence, the effects, the forms of gender-based violence, how we can prevent gender-based violence, and also child abuse issues.
Women in Land in Zimbabwe is a local NGO which empowers women to be owners of land and other natural resources. Also, Women in Land empowers women to be leaders in their communities, leaders in their districts, leaders in their nation. It also empowers women to know their rights so that they'll be able to stand there for themselves. Women in Land is implementing the CultureACTIONs project in Makoni district in 5 wards.
Mazowe district is a mining and farming community whereby there are a lot of makorokoza and there are a lot of gender-based violence cases which has been reported as child marriages. The coming of COVID-19 has worsened the situation, and the cases have increased of gender-based violence and child marriages as well. So as Roots under the CultureACTIONs program, we are trying to address some of the challenges that are facing by women and girls through activities that we are implementing, such as a community diary. We also have what we call Nyanga sessions that we are having with girls between the ages of 15 to 24. We also have gender-based violence sessions and child marriages sessions. And these sessions we are giving women and girls information around gender-based violence, where to report these cases, and also building their confidence through the Nyanga sessions so they can be assertive to report cases and having confidence to report such cases. We also give them information around where can they report these cases. For instance, we have the victim-friendly unit where they can report their cases, and also we have the Ministry of Women's Affairs where they have their community cadres that help women and girls to report their cases. We have the Musasa project, which is in Mazowe district. They have a safe shelter, which is just a temporary shelter for gender-based violence victims.
Through the Ministry of Women's Affairs, Community Small and Medium Enterprise Development, which is a ministry that we so closely work with in the fight against gender-based violence against women and girls. We are fighting a battle where over 10 suicide cases, to be specific, 12 suicide cases that have been received from one ward in Chipinge, which is Ward 19. And this is a very alarming statistic. And we are working with other players in the fight against gender-based violence. We have as a district, we have the one-stop center at Chipinge District Hospital, and also Chimanimani. We have the one-stop center in Chimanimani village, where we are saying survivors of gender-based violence can get services, various services, including health services, clinical services, legal services for free. They can also get the victim-friendly unit there. The police will be there at the one-stop centers. There is a service. There are services for survivors of gender-based violence, and we are educating the communities that within 72 hours they should come and access these services. And within the communities, we have referral pathways. We have people who are working in the communities to save people's lives before one finally decides to commit suicide. There's a listening ear through the CCWs, the village health workers, the local clinics, and our community cadres, the community facilitators, the male gender champions that we have capacitated in the communities, so that they listen to people's issues and refer them to get services at the one-stop center and other organizations in the district.
In Makoni district, in many of the wards, they are tobacco farmers, or the farmers specialize in farming tobacco, and we have seen that there is a rise in gender-based violence cases when the selling season arrives. The men who go are the ones who go to the auctions and they sell the tobacco, and they come back home with no money, which in turn induces violence in the homes. So we have seen an increase in violence against women and girls after the season of tobacco. And also in one of the wards, the Inyat mine area, it was a mining ward, and there are a lot of abuse on girls because of the mining activities there. The girls would be lured by the Makorokozas. So we had seen a rise in violence against girls.
Through the efforts of CultureACTIONs, we managed to partner with UNICEF and UN Women, whereby we are intensifying the need to increase awareness around gender-based violence amongst girls and women. During the COVID-19, the former organizations which used to have safe shelters closed because of fear for infection of COVID-19. So as Roots, we managed to open up a temporary shelter and give those women shelter so they can be able to stay for a short period of time during the COVID-19. Under the CultureACTIONs program, we roped in new methodologies that we are using, such as Creative Knowledge Toolkit, whereby we are using arts, drama, music, poetry to probe community members to speak out around violence that are happening within their community. So it is very important, because some of young girls and women, they see it difficult to come up with their issues, but using that creative arts, it's bearing positive outcomes as they are able to speak against violations.
As DOMCAP, we are saying, let's support our communities, let's support our women, our girls in the fight against gender-based violence. For we have lost so many lives, we have had so many people suffered a lot of emotional, physical, sexual, you name it, all these forms of abuse. And it's not good for human development. Children are at the risk of failure to have meaningful life development when they're in abusive environments, when they have abusive parents, abusive guardians or guardians who are always into gender-based violence. So we, as DOMCAP, we're saying no to gender-based violence. As a man and as a father, I'm saying I'll stand for the girls, I'll stand for the women in the fight against gender-based violence.
Gender-based violence has a lot of challenges, whereby there is death, there is future challenges that are being faced by girls.
So let us all come together and protect the women and the girls against gender-based violence.
As we are commemorating the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, as under the theme, Orange the World, Fund, Prevent, Respond and Collect, we say as youths, so I'm encouraging every organization, every community member to come up together and we can fight gender-based violence in Mazowe.
as we are getting into the 16 days, we are now in the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, and as we also commemorate the World AIDS Day, where as communities we are supposed to support each other to respond to GBV cases, support each other by way of establishing and strengthening community response mechanisms or referral pathways. We also educate the communities that there is a voice there to listen if one is faced with a situation of violence or a child marriage. There is a voice to listen. There are many partners that we are working with, government aligned ministries, departments, in the fight against gender-based violence to our women and children and girls in our communities.